All right, so today the Sharks were involved in a pretty interesting trade with the Colorado Avalanche, which involved sending backup goalie, Dubnyk to the Avalanche for Greg Pateryn and a 5th-round pick. And a lot of people saw this trade and kind of scratched their heads, like, what is really the point of this? And, I mean, I guess Dubnyk really didn't work out for the Sharks. I personally myself didn't really like him. But, you know, let's get into this. So, yeah, so Dubnyk played in 17 games with the Sharks. He only earned 3 wins, despite having an .998 save percentage, which isn't terrible. And I mean, I think he's a good player in general. I just think he was kind of thrown into this kind of disorganized system as a backup. And I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, watching Dubnyk play wasn't, like, fun to watch. And I'm going to just be honest with that. That's a main reason I don't like him that much as a player. I mean, I went to the one Sharks game I was able to go to this season. He allowed 4 goals, and it was a miserable game to watch. And, I mean, I think part of it is also the Sharks, you know, bad defense, and I think that's why they traded for a defenseman in Greg Pateryn, and they also got a 5th-round pick. But, you know, he just wasn't the greatest goalie, and with Jones performing a lot better now, I think they saw it as an opportunity to save money and, you know, I guess clean up the lineup just a little bit. The Sharks general manager quoted, actually, quote, "Devin brought the element of a consummate professionalism and class to our dressing room in what has been an extremely unique and challenging season," end quote. So, I mean, you know, I think he had a really good veteran presence. I don't think he's a terrible goalie. I just, like I said, I don't think he fit in with the team. Quote, "He fits seamlessly within our group and helped mentor many of our younger players. We thank him for his contribution to our club on and off the ice this season and wish him the best in Colorado," end quote. And I mean, I guess it's kind of the reason why a lot of people scratch their heads also is Colorado has a good goalie tandem already. They have Grubauer and they have Johansson, who have been playing good so far. So Pateryn, about him, I guess, he was a Wild alumni. He actually started the season in Minnesota, so he's moved around just a little bit. However, he was fined for an illegal cross-check in the 3rd game of the season on Sonny Milano of the Ducks. So he was traded to the Avalanche for Ian Cole. That was back in January. But he was placed on waivers, so I guess a lot of people kind of forgot he was on the team. And I guess, you know, we're probably not going to see him in the lineup too much. I'm guessing he's going to play with the Barracuda, our AHL team, for quite a bit until, you know, he shapes up to be ready for the lineup, because quite frankly, I don't see him as really that talented of a player. I just being honest there. But, you know, the Sharks goalie situation is going to be interesting. They have a backup who actually played, well, they have, I guess, a 3rd-string goalie, if you want to call it that played tonight, replaced Jones. But it'll be interesting. You know, we'll see. He has that veteran presence, Dubnyk, but kind of a meaningless trade in the grand scheme of things for the Sharks. I think the Avalanche, I guess, won this because they got rid of someone that they weren't even really playing in exchange for a goalie that has promise. I mean, you know, I talked about in my previous, you know, game reviews and recaps, I talked about Dubnyk as a goalie with a lot of potential, but I just think he was this close. You know, he wasn't close enough to cutting it. And I think with Jones, like I said, playing good lately. I guess aside from tonight, which is hindsight's 2020, I know. So Dubnyk could go on to be a star, but you know, it is what it is. Interesting trade, and obviously a 5th-round pick. So, and I guess that kind of makes it a little bit more balanced. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on this trade. I think it's interesting. I don't really have too much of an opinion on it, but you know, let me know your thoughts. Go Sharks.